But it's an 85-year-old study, 85-year plus study on what does it take to live a good life? What does it take to live well? What does it take to live long and well, to enjoy life? And this is no theory. So they've been doing in 85 plus years, they've been doing a study, of people from different generations of people for more than 85 years, looking at real life scenario to learn what does it take to live a good life. And what they found out is relationship. The secret to a good life is relationship. The secret to living long and well is having relationship, having right quality relationship in the different facets of our life, as parents, as children, as cousins, siblings, friends at work, family setup, just having that, adds life, seasons our life. We've talked about what it means to be socially fit, as against physical fitness. Social fitness is all about the ability to create and maintain relationship. If you're able to do that, then it makes a difference to the quality, it adds to the quality of your life. Along this part, we've talked about what loneliness is, and how to come out of it. We've talked about the effect of social media, in this last chapter, when the title is All Friends Have Benefits. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about friendship. That's why we're trying to take this home. And we're saying all friends have benefits. If you have a friend that is not beneficial to you, that person is not a friend, because all friends, all friends have benefit. There's something to get from every friendship. Any friendship that you're getting nothing is not a friendship, right? Any friendship that you're getting nothing is not a friendship. Yes, obviously, we don't go into any friendship or any relationship for the purpose or the intent of getting something. That's not the reason why we're going to a relationship, right? A healthy relationship is the one in which people come together because of what they can give. They can give. They can give. Giving is the key to life. Yes, we all need life, but to get that life, you must be willing to give. You must have something to give, and we all have something to give. Anybody that thinks it has nothing to give is as it were indicting his creator, because God has not created anything that is useless. Right? God has not created anything that is useless, and you are not useless. There's something you have. It might be cash, it might be time, it might be talent, it might be gifting, it might be connection. There is something you have. And all it takes for you to enter into a relationship, to enter into a healthy relationship where you will get the things you need in your life, is to be willing to give that which you have. That's why we'll say, he that must have friends must show himself friendly. People say that, I want to have friends. I want to have friends. I want to have friends. That's not the way you get friends, right? That's not the way you get friends. You don't get friends by praying about it also. You don't get friends by fasting about it also. The way you get friends is to be a friend. The way you get a friend is to be a friend. The way you get a friend is to be a friend. Giving is the key to life. Giving is what activates life. Again, that's a fallacy of these people that always tell you about destiny helper, destiny helper. That's not the way God created life. Giving is the key to life. You must give of what you have. That which you give is what authenticates you to receive. That which you give is what authenticates you to receive. It's not about sitting down waiting. That's the helper. Someone that will help me. No. You don't get life by that. You only get depression. You get poverty by doing that. To get life, to get richness, to be blessed, to blossom, you need to step out and be a blessing. Step out and be a blessing. Step out and be a blessing. While you're on the way being a blessing, you will be blessed. You will receive everything that you don't have. Step out and be a blessing. While you're on the way being a blessing, you will receive everything you don't have. It's not about crying over what you don't have. It's rejoicing and being grateful for what you have. Step out with what you have, and you will get every other thing you don't have. That is a secret to life. That's the key to life. It's not about complaining. It's not about mourning. It's about being a blessing. To get blessed, you need to be a blessing, right? So great. We talked about that the basic quote that is overriding, overarching over this chapter. It's the one by Emily Dickinson. And she says, "My friends are my estate." Another way of saying it is that my friends are my net worth. My friends are my riches. My friends are my wealth. And that's good. That's important. That's critical. You see, I'm a businessman today, other than the fact that I work for a company. And what makes life easy for me, being able to do a lot of things, is friendship. Is friendship. I'm building things, I'm spending money, I'm going places without moving. Is because I have friends. I have places in which I have either to invested, and I'm able to then take deposits of my investment in those places, right? So if you don't have friends, you're going to die before your time. You're going to end up being on the road, having to do everything yourself, you know, and you can't. You'll be limited if you want to do everything yourself. I put an old write-up out today that I put out. I've been putting out over the years, and it's saying outsource, outsource, outsource. Right? You cannot grow bigger than your ability to outsource, because you cannot be everywhere. Right? You cannot be everywhere. So you have to be able to walk through people. The extent to which you can outsource, you can delegate to people, is the extent to which you can grow. You cannot grow bigger than your ability to delegate and outsource to others. Right? So that's why some churches can't grow. They're just so small, because the pastor cannot trust other people, or does not know how to walk through other people. Pastor feels that he has to do everything himself. Some business, the person feels he has to put his hand on everything. You're either going to kill yourself, or you'll just be limited. You have to learn to walk through people. That's the way to grow. That's the way to grow big, right? Because there's only so much you can do. We as human beings, we're limited. We're physical. We're not spirit. The ability to grow beyond what my physical person can touch is my ability to recreate myself in other people, to recreate myself in other people, to sell the vision that I see to other people, that they will imbibe it as if it's their own and run with it. Right? I can trust them and they can trust me, and they can see themselves in me enough to believe and accept and imbibe and embody the vision that I have to run with. Right? That is what friendship can do for you. Don't forget, friends, it does not have to just be your peers, right? You can be friends with people above you, people at your same level, and people below you, right? It's the same way following leadership, right? We'll lead up, lead sideways, and lead downwards, right? And there has to be a relationship to be able to do that, right? So Emily Dickinson says, "My friends are my wealth, they are my estate, they are my richness." My ability to, I want to use the word use them, but it's to use the relationship, not use the people. We don't use people, right? We work with people. We use tools. We work with people. You can use the relationship working with the people, right? We need to be careful in that word. Some people don't understand that word. We don't use people. We work with people, because whatever you're doing with someone else has to be with it empathically. You have to see yourself in that person, right? You don't throw away your emotions. You don't do that without your heart. When you're working with people, empathy always comes to play. When you are not empathic, then you are using that person as a tool, and that relationship will not go far. Right? So Emily says, "My friends are my estate, my friends are my wealth, my friends are my resource." Right? Forgive me then if I hold on too tightly to them, right? Because they make a difference in my life. They make a difference in every one of our lives. Only this morning we're chatting together with one of my friends. He's also a farmer, right? And we're learning from one another. There are things he wants to do that I'm already doing. So he's going to come visit my farm and see it. He doesn't have to do it the first time. He doesn't have to make the same mistakes I made. He can sit on my shoulder and do better. He can stand on my shoulder and do better. I already have someone doing it for me. He doesn't have to go look for someone else to do it. Guess what? That person that is doing it for me gets an extra job to do. And it's able to also build on what he's already doing for me, what we are learning together for him. Right? That's the benefit of friendship. There's something he's going into that I'm not yet going into. Right? I've told my farm manager to go and learn that from him so that I too can go into that. Right? He has poultry already operation. He has a ranch already operation. My farm manager is going to go visit that place and see how it is working so we can learn from it. We can learn from it. We can stand on the shoulder, sit on his shoulder and do and go further than we could have ever gone, starting from the beginning. He is our teacher. We use the benefit of relationship, the benefit of connection to do better. Right? He's coming to my farm. He needs something. My farm manager is going to go get it for him. You see, that's the benefit of relationship, benefit of connecting together, and it's going to make a difference between poverty and richness. If you know how to use relationship, know how to connect with people, know how to be friends, right? I don't know how to make friends, be social fit. When you're socially fit, it adds to your life. It doesn't take away from your life. It adds to your life. Yes, will there be people that will want to abuse you along the way? That's the idea of being socially fit, because your social fitness will know how to sift people off. You know what the things you stand for, the things you don't stand for. You will have a healthy boundary around you, so when people try to cross that boundary, you enforce your boundary. It's part of social fitness. Anyone that does not have healthy boundary around his life, around his friendship, around his connections, around his relationship, is not socially fit. To be socially fit is to have boundaries, healthy boundaries in your life. There are things that go, there are things that don't go. Right? I was just chatting on my former workplace WhatsApp chat the other day, and someone was kind of being disrespectful. I tried to help him understand that he was being disrespectful, but he didn't get the point. He didn't get the point, right? So what will I do? He has just proved to me that we cannot have a relationship, right? That we don't go together. We belong to two different worlds. So what did I do? I said, hey, all right, don't worry about it. I just put him where he belongs. It means he cannot fit into my social circle. He does not belong to my social circle. He's one of those I don't have to relate with, right? Because he does not understand boundaries, right? And we don't jive, right? Not everybody's going to jive with you. That's why you have to have boundaries. Not everybody goes. If you're a friend to everybody, then you are a nobody. If you are a friend to everybody, then you are a nobody. But because you are a somebody, you cannot be friends to everybody. There are things you like and there are things you don't like. To thyself be true. To thyself be true. Right?